Welcome to the Social for Brokers podcast. Today I have with me Hayley Callaghan, which I hope I have pronounced correctly because people
Yeah.
pronounce I have right. That's perfect. We're off to a flyer. So Hayley is an area director for Moving Legal, and she's actually known as the merch queen, which we'll get into shortly. Now, if you know who Hayley is, you'll have seen her all over LinkedIn with all the merch. So we'll get into that. And the reason I wanted to get Hayley on is because in a world today where everybody's trying to gain attention, and that's what everybody wants, people's attention, Hayley's actually found a different way to get eyes on the business. And I honestly think it's genius. And it's exactly why I wanted to get Hayley on here today to talk about how she does it. And to give you a bit of an inkling of the episode, Hayley brands dog biscuits. So that's all I'm going to say until we get into it. And it helps her generate new business. So sit back, listen, take some notes of this masterclass in how branding wins new business. Hayley, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Though you might regret it after we've been talking.
This is awesome. So, Hayley, this is her first podcast episode. So you were a bit nervous, weren't you, coming on? But I've kind of said it's just a chat and people listening to it. So that's all it is.
Yeah, and I think the problem is everyone knows me quite close. I'm pretty direct. I'm about as subtle as a sledgehammer for the first.
That's what people like to listen to this. Keep it short and sweet and just give them as much value as possible. But before we get into how branding can win business, give us a bit about you. See, I told you I mess bits up as well. Give us a bit of your background and how you got into the industry, Hayley.
Well, it was basically I've basically fallen into sales. I've done it for loads of years now, about 10. I won't go exact because again you'll see how old I am and I don't want to highlight that. But I actually lost my job over in COVID. I was made redundant, and
All right.
Lyndon, my sales director, found me, and that was that basically. And I've been here for over 3 years now. So as
Oh,
I
okay.
went, yeah, so I went from the BDM where we were just doing everything via Zoom, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
just do leads online. You couldn't really go out and see people, to then become the area director and be pretty much everywhere. I think everyone gets sick of seeing my face on LinkedIn, to be honest. So yeah, but I absolutely love it. My passion's there, and I think they're honestly going to have to carry me out in Moving Legal Hearse, to be fair, which I've actually looked at, and I can get a branded coffin.
Bloody well, talking about injuries and stuff, that Hayley actually was supposed to run the Great North Run last weekend, weren't you? And unfortunately, did your ankle pretty bad. So much so the hospital gave her crutches, and she was thinking about branding them, but then realised the NHS needed them back. So it would have been a bit selfish. But before we go into fully branding, give us a bit of a 60-second picture of exactly what Moving Legal does.
So Moving Legal is obviously the service where you can use us for all things conveyancing. What I do really well on top of that, my Northern team, and especially my account manager, Michelle, who is my everything, who I chain to a desk while I'm out driving, basically. We chase your cases with all the solicitors, so you don't have to. So that cuts loads of time out for the brokers because you're wasting enough time on the phone to lenders. So we'll do that and we'll get you answers within 24 hours. So it's a
Wow.
massive time, money, because a lot of them don't then invest in admin teams. But we
Mm.
also support those admin teams as well. And every now and again, I give them a lunch and learn to make them feel as valued as the brokers as well. But I'm just an extra part of your team, basically.
Oh, nice. And do you facilitate that relationship between the solicitors to get quotes and things, or is it you just come in at the point to chase the solicitors for them?
So they'll do all the quotes themselves, basically. They can use
Okay.
that via our platform. We manage a lot of the relationship with solicitors. So as well as going to meet brokers daily, I'll go out to solicitors as well because it's really important that we build that side of the business
Of course.
because ultimately we're going to be the middleman in between them both. So we facilitate that relationship. And normally I'm chasing them about 10 other points on other cases as well. So I want the brokers to abuse me as much as they want, really.
And that leads us perfectly. What is your daily role? Because you say you do a lot of miles, you're up and down the country, and this will lead us perfectly into the branding side of things.
Yeah, so my daily role is ultimately on the road. So any good time, I know we've just come out of the summer holidays, and obviously now I can't drive, but usually I'll be doing nearly about 1,000 miles a week,
Gosh.
and that's covering majority in the north. anything north of Birmingham upwards, really. And then I've got Michelle, who does my case chasing and deals with inquiries when I'm out and about in the sticks with no signal. And then generally when I come home, I then start case chasing as well. So a lot of my brokers now have directed my emails into their junk or their trash because they know I'm chasing cases that much that they just don't want to see them.
And just leave you to it. Yeah, they just
Yeah.
trust that you can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Love
think
it.
my
So
limits.
you're always full on.
Yeah, it's I know my limit. I've done it till about 4 a.m. in the morning, casing chasers for brokers. So I'll just go down a rabbit hole. I'm a bit of a workaholic. So being down with an ankle at the minute, I'm going to be climbing the walls by the end of the week.
Can imagine. So it's about, what is it, like 12 weeks, did you say, on your ankle that you need to keep it?
Yeah, between 6 and 12 weeks. But I'm already got in my head that I'm going to try probably see if I can drive on Monday.
Monday a week later. Well, I'll leave you. I'll leave you to do that. So let's talked about the business and what you do. Take us back to when you started with the Moving Legal. Were you big on LinkedIn yourself?
I was, yeah. So I've
Okay.
always found it a really good tool anyway, because you can reach a lot more people. And I think it's really vital that people see what you're up to and see that you're out there. If you're doing one post every month, it's not really going to hit home because not everyone's sat at their computer staring at LinkedIn, are they? And if they don't follow you, they won't necessarily see it. So I've always found it really useful in business to get you out there and your branding out there.
And that leads us perfectly. So branding. Talk us through how it all started with Moving Legal in terms of the branding. Where did the idea come from? What was the first product?
Well, they've always had a bit of branding for me. They had like pads, pens, the normal stuff that you'd see about. Actually, one of my older jobs, they started giving out socks, and it's the first time I've ever seen socks in an event. And everyone used to go mental for them. So I went to all my directors and said, I really want some socks. Can we look at branding socks? The looks I got, I mean, John at work now, he still gives me funny looks that the socks fly off the shelves, to be honest. He
So you
can't
did do
believe
the
it.
socks?
Yeah, we do them. Yeah, we give them out quite a lot. So I get, if I'm at an event, I either get called dog treat lady or sock girl. So
I love
it's
it.
quite unusual. No one's remembered my name yet, but I'll get sock girl, dog treat lady, come here.
But this is
Yeah.
we talk a lot on this podcast. Sorry to interrupt, about brand anchors, and you have to be very careful the way you say that. But brand anchors, what are things that are nothing to do with your business, but people find it very easy to talk to you about them. So, for example, if you're at an event, if you didn't have anything, say if there was a Smith's offering that did exactly the same as you, and Smith's, they didn't have anything like that, like the socks, people would be hesitant to speak to them because they feel they'd probably be pitched at straight away. Come and use Smith Solicitor Services because we're the best, we can do X, Y, and Z. Whereas with your stand, it's so much easier for us to say, where's the sock girl? And that's a brand anchor because I can talk to you about the great idea of socks. And that might lead to a 5-minute conversation. And then further down the line, you might be like, have you ever seen our services? And I'm much more familiar with you then. And it's so much easier to talk about your service. Have you seen that with those conversation openers?
Yeah, I think so. Because if you're at an event, you've got a table. I mean, we've all been guilty of it, haven't we? Because we all like to swoop and have a look at what swag people have got on the tables.
Yeah.
Because I always have a bit of nosy think, is there something else I haven't thought of putting a brand on, really? One of the biggest things that I give out is dog biscuits. Everyone's obsessed with those. So they always fly over and they'll come back numerous times to the table because we're like, are there any left? And then they're like sweeping it all into their bags, really. But it does make people hover at the table longer when they see something different. So many brands just have pads and pens, and who really uses that many pads and pens nowadays? But when they can come and get sweets, dog biscuits, socks, water bottles, cups, those sort of things. Everyone loves a freebie, don't they?
And this is it. So when we were at the Primus event in March, there was loads of different stands about, but the one stand that did really well was the, unfortunately, I can't remember the name of the company, but they were giving out pick and mix sweets. Now, all the brokers was queued up at that stand. So they're automatically They're getting to know that business. So what I'm thinking from a mortgage broker's point of view, what could these mortgage brokers do to give away to clients? So branded dog biscuits. Can you, and I know this might seem really trivial, but can you talk us through the process of what you do to make the branded dog biscuits?
Um, yeah, I mean, funnily enough, because my dog, which most people have seen again on LinkedIn, he normally travels with me, and it all started because he came into, he was in the car, and someone said, "Oh, bring your dog in because mine's not here." So I took him into the office, and they started giving him dog biscuits, and I thought, "You know, that's a great idea." And I did try baking my very own. That I actually
Did
wrote in
you?
the biscuit, moving legal.
Bloody hell,
Oh,
that's a bit of a yeah, that's a skill.
yeah, so that, but they only have a shelf life of about 2 weeks, which isn't really
Mm.
good, or a week, some of them, depending what you put in. So I thought, scratch that. So I go to Pets at Home, I buy loads of the bags, and then I get the pick and mix dog biscuits. And I basically open a few and then sit there, make up these little bags and whack a sticker on it, basically. So that's what
Wicked.
I do on some of my evenings.
And then you'll take them to solicitors, to mortgage brokers, just as a bit of a way to get your brand out there.
Yeah, I do. And it's people have seen it on a post and they go, "Where have you got that from?" I never got that from Moving Legal. And I'm like, "Oh, well, I'll bring you some down then." And then you've got a huge new meeting again, a new kind of you've reached out to loads of people. 'Cause everyone loves a dog. I'm not doing cat biscuits though. I'd rather like the
Draw the
cats.
line. And that's again, that's something you should always stick true to what you believe. So you're not doing cats because it's all about dogs for you guys. Do you know what I mean? You're sticking true to what you do. So we've talked about how these type of things can help with people that you've already got. So you're out on the road, you're giving out these things, but how do these type of things help you win new business, Hayley?
I think they're kind of like the cherry on the top, really. I think the main point is still the service that I promised with all that chasing. That's such an important element. And just the point that I'm out there in front of their face. I'm not trying to do it by um, calls all the time. I'm going out and making that effort. And I think these little things are personal touches, and the fact that
Mm.
people are always blown away that I sit there on an evening and make them all up. Because the fact was, I was giving these dog biscuits out, and a broker said, "What have I got?" So then little sweetie bags were born. So then I made the sweet bags up as well for brokers. So
Ah, right,
I think
okay.
it's those little personal touches that I think are quite good, and people remember you. Though you didn't remember that person who did the pick a mix sweet, so I hope I do better than that.
Well, I wasn't queued up at the stand. That was the thing. All
Right.
the brokers that were queued up were probably looking at the branding. But I always know, well, do you remember seeing the dog biscuits on LinkedIn? I'm like, oh, but I know Hayley from doing the dog biscuits. And I then know the company and I see you posting. And that leads us perfectly on to the next bit. So you'll be doing the branding and you do that on the road with people. But what you do on social media is so different to what other people are doing. You're doing so much more personal content. So talk us through, how often do you post on LinkedIn at the minute, Ayla?
I try and do at least one post every day, at least Monday to Friday, because I'll always take one when I'm out and about on the road, because you never know who's in that area and goes, "Oh, I'm free. Can you come in and see me?" So I always think
Okay,
that's
yeah.
quite important because if they
Mhm.
see that, but also that they just know that you're not talking crap in the nicest way to put it.
Yeah, yeah, too,
That
right, yeah.
you sat at a desk and you don't really care. I think the fact that so every time I see people, they go, "You're crazy, you are. You're all over this country pretty much." And
Mhm.
I think it just shows that effort and that you really believe in what you do and you're behind your brand 100%, really.
So you're
So
you're uploading that behind the scenes content because it's not polished. It's not you in front of a moving legal sign. It's you in your car with a coffee or with a dog sat next to you. That's the type of content that really works well for you, doesn't it?
yeah, because everyone knows I'm nuts.
But that's true to you. You'd be People wouldn't believe you if it was a very boring post of you sat behind the desk saying, do you know what I mean? Saying all this corporate lingo. It's all about you as a particular person. So when you're doing these posts, do you find times there's a better time to post on LinkedIn or you get better responses on LinkedIn?
I think there are better times at work. I think mornings are quite good because everyone's just getting into work and tend to be having a bit of a
Mhm.
nosy. But I also think evenings in the same respect because a lot of people like a lot of brokers, they're doing all their appointments in the daytime and then an evening they've probably just put the kids to bed, they've done the baths, have dinner, And then I sat there catching up on some of the paperwork, and I think that's a great time to get in and speak to people as well. It's just one of those things. But then you get people that are really strict 9 to 5 and won't look at LinkedIn
Yeah,
on
it
the
won't look
outside
after you.
hours.
Yeah. So
So
when you've then posted those posts, this is what I see a lot of you do is you'll then interact with a lot of people, won't you? So you'll sit there. Do you have set times where you say, right, on Tuesday at 10 o'clock, I'm going to sit down and respond to all the comments, or do you do it on the fly?
I do it on the fly. It's all, I mean, we can
Do
do
you?
everything off phones now, can't we? So every time I'm notified on my phone that I've got an email or a LinkedIn, I jump on it straight away. I'm really one of those terrible people that won't turn off. So
You're just always on it.
yeah, and I think you need to be because one of my biggest things is that I believe is if you don't answer someone, there'll always be someone that does answer them. Do you know what I
Oh, good
mean? If they
point.
can't get the
Yeah.
answer, they'll go elsewhere. If anyone's as impatient as me, I want everything yesterday. So if I'm not that person there for them, they'll find someone else who cares.
So you're saying you need to be on it 24/7. So that's the responding to the content and putting the content out there. But what I noticed and I watched this video is, and you probably didn't realize that you were doing this, but it had a huge traction, was being vulnerable online. And this is something that I think as people on the internet, we kind of say, we don't want people to know our weaknesses. We don't want to show that we're weak online. We want to show that we're always successful and we're always doing this and we're always doing the 5 a.m. starts and all that crap. Do you know what I mean? That's what you see. Whereas talk us through the video that you put out last week and the kind of traction that that video got.
Well, I think, like you say, we always want to be polished, don't we? We want to make sure our hair's nice, makeup, well, not makeup, maybe a few. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, one of
But
those.
it was just such a weird one because it was obviously it was literally 20 minutes after I'd finally got home and people had brought me home in a wheelchair because the injury was that bad and they'd brought my dog home for me to run with him. And it was like the third time I was meant to do this Great North Run and something's happened where I couldn't do it. I feel like it's the universe saying I shouldn't do it. But I was in so much pain anyway. And I was just so disappointed. I thought everyone's donated. I've been pushing, I've been not drinking, I've been training for it. I really wanted to do it this time. You just feel like lets everyone down. And rather than just putting a post out which has no emotion, I just thought I need to thank everyone and apologise and say I'll do it next year. I didn't plan for it to be quite as emotional. I had no makeup on, looked terrible. I was trying not to cry, but you could tell to
Yeah.
kind of do the machine gun. Just get my
Just trying to
hair out.
catch yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think on the end of it, I was just trying to get off it at that point because I knew I was going to burst out crying, and I thought I can't do that. So I couldn't actually say sorry at the end of the video, so I was like, "I'm sorry." I knew I was going to cry, but I was just so disappointed because everyone had come out for me and sponsored me, and it was I was blown away. I've had like 5,000 people look at the video, and then nearly 12,000 people looked at my whole profile that week because of the back of it. So I'm blown away. Maybe I should wear less makeup and cry in more videos.
But the thing is, the reason I wanted people to know about that video, so the video, you just had an injury, you were apologizing to people that you couldn't do the Great North Run because you really wanted to do it. And you were just being really honest. All you did, took a camera to the face, started speaking about it. And what that does is, I think it does two things. The first thing, it shows you're a genuine person. You haven't put that on LinkedIn just purely for the attention. You've done it purely because you were gutted that you couldn't do it. And a lot of people had probably been following your journey on LinkedIn of what you were doing. But the second part was you showed that you're vulnerable, and it kind of gives somebody something to talk to you about, because that they could maybe resonate with it, that I've trained for it and I've been injured before. And it opens up those lines of communication. And I'm thinking from a business point of view, then it's great because you open your network then up to more people, don't you? I just think it's a great lesson to learn that we need to be a bit more open on social media as to what's going on behind the scenes. Because you could have uploaded a post to say how good the business was doing that week and how many new clients you'd landed. But what actually struck a chord with people was a bit of failure on your part to say, I've buggered this up. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
I think it really helps show your personality and show that you're actually a human being, that you've tried everything you can, and unfortunately, luck's not been with you. What did you say at the beginning? You're glad you got bad luck because you'd have no luck at all.
Yeah, I said if I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. But I think so many people probably in our industry know me as this. Well, I get called Pitbull by some solicitors, to be honest, which I think is a nicer name that they say to my face. To be fair, I'm quite hard faced, and I've had brokers say, "I'm glad you're on my side. I wouldn't like to be against you." I think it was a bit of a shock because I'm such this hard-faced, direct person, and then they just saw this little 4-year-old in front of them blubbing away.
But again, that it allows them to strengthen the relationship with you. So then when it does come to they need a service from you, it's so much easier to open up to you, I think.
Yeah, I
Personally,
think
anyway.
so. If you ask my account manager, Michelle, she says I'm a big softie and a big pussycat, really.
Oh,
So,
really? But
yeah,
likes
she went, I
dogs.
don't know why people think you're a hard face, so and so.
Well, maybe that's what you need to do. Then more of those kind of videos and show people that side of you.
Maybe, I don't know. I think I always think people think I'm nuts. Like the time I was chasing sheep around in Cumbria just for a LinkedIn post.
That's what we do. Talk us through that post. What was that all about then?
So I'll just I get these ideas when I'm driving around. Because obviously, when you're doing 1,000 miles a week, it's a lot of time in the car just
Mm.
to go a bit nuts. There's only so many Backstreet Boys songs I can sing, really. But so I just think of these little ideas, and because I was going over Cumbria tops quite a bit. If I'm going from Newcastle to Manchester, I go over the tops. And I just thought, wouldn't it be really funny to do a post with loads of sheep puns? Because there's loads of puns you can do, like don't pull the wool over my eyes, just use you with EWE for a change
Yeah,
and things like that. Like I did one with the moving legal dogs the other day, and I thought you must be barking mad and chasing your tail with conveyancing. I think it's just a bit different because you know it's not corporate, it's a bit your own personality in a post, which I think sells more to people because they get to know you a
definitely.
bit more.
And you always include your face in these posts as well, so they know who they're going to be speaking to when they pick up the phone. It's not a faceless brand, which you could so easily do with the Moving Legal brand because you merch enough. Do you know what I mean? You do enough branding,
Mm.
so people could just know you as the branding, but you decide to put your face at the front, which I'm a massive advocate for because it personalizes the brand. Okay, so before we get onto the strategy question, we like to donate £10 to a charity of your choice to say thank you for coming on. Which charity did you want us to make the donation to?
If you could do it to Tommy's, because that's how I'm doing the Great North Run for, please.
We definitely will. Perfect. Right, so we're going to pretend that you've moved 300 miles from where you are. Say we'll move north of Scotland, okay? You've got a laptop, a mobile phone, and an internet connection. What would you personally do? You've got no LinkedIn audience as well. You're starting from zero. What would you do to start generating new business?
I'd, I'd just basically probably Google who was a bit in the area close by to me.
Okay.
Just see what bit, depending on whatever business you're in, see who's
Mhm.
nearby, find out who's there, give them calls. If I can't get them by calls, try email them. If I can't get them email, LinkedIn messages. LinkedIn messages I like because they see your face a lot of the time.
I've never
Um,
thought of that yet.
and it tends to go direct to the phone, and people can't help but have a nosy more at LinkedIn, I think, rather than an email. Especially if going
Mhm.
in work emails and it's weekend, you might not want to have a look at it. And then short of that, I'd probably actually start physically going into places. I like to do a lot of drop-ins if I see people. So
Yeah.
I just get out and about, get in front of as many people as you can, basically.
And it's
Ringing,
interesting,
messaging,
like
emailing.
your social media there, although that's so successful for you at the moment, it doesn't quite feature as big in there, does it? Because you're starting from scratch. It's hard to pitch on social media when you don't have that audience. So what you're doing is saying physically, let's get out there and actually shake some hands, speak to people on the phone, email them, and be consistent with connecting with people in that local area.
Yeah, no, I think it is because even though my LinkedIn and social media is quite big, without me physically being in certain areas, I really wouldn't have as much presence on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
Because it's absolutely amazing when I go to meetings that aren't necessarily in my area or I go to events. I have people come up to me and like, I feel like I know you. And I was like, I've never met you before. Sorry, what's your name? They're like, you're all over my LinkedIn. I see you every day, so I feel like I already know you. So I'm
And
like, are you
that's
using moving legal? No, right. Well, you should do.
But that's it. Without you posting on social media, they wouldn't know who you are, would they?
No, I think it's really powerful having a face to kind of the brand and stuff. Because even so, I know a lot of people might hate seeing my smiley face every day on there, but they always recognise me when I'm in a room, to be honest, because they've seen it so much. And they'll always tie that into moving legal. And I think they see that passion behind what I do and know how much I love moving legal. I think if you cut me open, I bleed blue and green, to be honest.
Yeah. And
And so
thinking about your
I,
coffin.
yeah, and I think if it shows you've got that passion and you, because I'm putting my personality in, it's not just corporate, this is what we do, blah, blah, blah. They can see that I actually believe in what I do. And I think that's a huge, huge part. And all the swag that I do is just a cherry on the top, I think.
And how do you overcome that confidence issue of, say, if somebody was sat there now saying, I'd really love to do what you do, Hayley, but I don't like taking photos of myself. What would you say to them?
I mean, it's not like I completely love myself. I'm a total wallflower on it. But I think if you just put it there, like I wouldn't have ever thought that vulnerable video of me crying because I think I'm a really ugly crier, to be honest. With
You
and there's giant snot bubbles coming out and stuff, and makeup looking like Alice Cooper. I mean, that's not polished, but it has had the most impact across the board. I think it's got nearly 40 comments on that with people I don't even do
Wow.
business with. So I think you've just got to get over it. I've done silly TikTok raps about moving legal. I do,
Have you?
yeah, and I've worn every single branded bit of clothing I've got and then done a little silly dance and I do a silly little shoulder wiggle thing. It's just if you can't laugh at yourself, then
Yeah,
what's the point really? I think people will love you more for it. I've had people go, I don't know how you dare do that, but it's got your attention still, hasn't it? So for better or for worse.
exactly. And I think what a lot of people, what happens with people is they'll be so scared to do a video, they'll do it thinking that people will ridicule them. But the people that they thought would ridicule actually admire them and turn around and say, fair play, I couldn't do that. And it's almost then that it's like, well, you get a bit more confidence then. And then you do the next video and the next one or the next photo from there. So I think people would be surprised when they put out a piece of content, if it's very personal with a video or a photo, people actually admire what you're doing. So I just say, give it a go and get some out there and see how people respond to it.
Yeah, because no one's, well, I mean, you'd be surprised. I think if people can be keyboard warriors and hide, but you're never going to get someone be really horrible and go, oh God, look how ugly you look on that video, or how stupid that was. No one's going to be brave enough to say that anyway. And do you know what? If you've got the balls to do it yourself, get on and do it. And
Yeah,
it's not, nothing bad's going to happen. I always say the worst thing anyone's going to say is no, and you can get over it, can't you? Like even with sales, don't ask for the business, you're never going to get it.
yeah,
They're only going
exactly.
to tell me to bog off at the most,
And then you
which
leave
I'll
them
live
some
with
dog
and move
biscuits.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've covered a lot in this podcast. We've talked about social media, we've talked about branding, we've talked about marketing and LinkedIn in particular. Now, if anybody does want to reach out to you, Hayley, where is going to be the best place for them to do so if they want to speak about your services?
Anywhere they want. I'm happy with LinkedIn, email, carrier pigeon, paper aeroplane, anywhere they want. They can't miss me anyway on LinkedIn if they want to get in touch with me or just ring the office and ask for me or something. So
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for imparting your knowledge about social media branding and marketing. Really appreciate it, Hayley. And if you do want to reach out to Hayley, give her a call or drop her a message on LinkedIn. She'll be more than happy to help. And she might even send you some dog biscuits.
maybe if you look her, if you use me.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate it, Hayley.
No worries. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.